Dear students, welcome to English class. Today's topic is Poem 3 from your textbook Flamingo. Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda, Part 1. About the poet. Pablo Neruda is the pen name of Neftali Ricardo Reyes Basolto, who was born in Chile. Neruda's poems are full of easily understood images which make them no less beautiful. He wrote in a variety of styles. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1971. The theme of the poem. Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda talks about the necessity of quiet introspection and creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. The poet feels that some soul searching is needed for us to be at peace with ourselves and others. He stresses upon being quiet and harmless to the human beings, animals, and environment. So what's by introspection? It means the examination or observation of one's own mental and emotional processes. The poem also stresses on building a peaceful and harmonious world and appeals for fostering the spirit of brotherhood. The poet requests us to stop waging wars against each other and stop indiscriminate exploitation of Mother Earth for vested interests. The poem shows concern on isolation of human beings resulting out of their selfishness. The poem strongly condemns nuclear and chemical wars and victory without human survivors. Everyone should look within and analyze what's wrong and who is the wrongdoer. This will cleanse every heart and enable us to realize the utter futility of our aggressive endeavors. The structure of the poem. The poem is divided into stanzas, but there is no rhyme scheme. The lengths of the lines differ in different stanzas. There is a shift in thought as we move from stanza to stanza. What does the title suggest? The title is quite appropriate and logical. It suggests the necessity of quiet introspection. The people of the world are overactive and always on the move. Their activities have caused untold troubles and sufferings. Keeping quiet will do them a lot of good. It will save them from many harmful and violent activities. Moreover, it will help in reflecting over the fate of man and help in creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. Dear students, let's see the poem in detail. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. Now going for the explanation of these lines. The poem opens in an arresting dramatic way. The poet here requests everyone to keep quiet after a countdown of 12. Maybe this number 12 referred by the poet is the 12 hours on the clock or the 12 months in an year. He wants everyone to stop and calm down. The poet urges everyone not to speak any language. As we all know that there are different languages spoken in different parts of the earth which sometimes become a barrier in our way for peace. So he asks people not to speak. Not only this, he also wants us to stop moving our arms. Physical activities and speaking divert us from introspection. By using the word arms, he means the weapons which are used by different countries to raise a war against each other. So, basically, the poet is demanding peace from all of us. Now let's have a look at the literary devices used in these lines. First one, assonance. Assonance is the use of vowel sound O and that's seen in the lines. Now we'll count to 12, not move our arms so much. Next one is anaphora. Two consecutive lines starting with the word let's. So here 2 lines, let's not speaking any language, and let's stop for 1 second is an example for anaphora. Coming to the third one, a very familiar one, alliteration. The repetition of a consonant sound at the start of 2 or more closely placed words. We will. Here, the sound W is getting repeated.
Now let's see the next answer. It would be an exotic moment. Without brush, without engines, we would all be together in a sudden strangeness. So what does exotic moment mean? It means something that is unusual, enticing, or a moment of peace and quietness. Without rush, without engines refers to without any mechanical lifestyle. Sudden strangeness. It's a blissful experience of universal spirit in human beings. So let's go for an explanation of these lines. The poet says, when everything will come to a standstill, it will be a rare situation. No one will be in a rush and there will be no engines running. Everyone will be calm and quiet, united with each other in a strange atmosphere. It will be strange because it has never happened earlier. People will not be in a rush to achieve material things one after another. Here, the poet says that it would be a rare situation when there will be an absence of all physical activities. The poet stresses that if everything comes to a standstill, it will be a very unusual moment. The literary devices. It's alliteration. We would. Here, W sound is repeated. Next example is sudden strangeness. Here, S sound gets repeated.
Lines 11 to 14. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. So here, harm whales means no one should be harming any other living being, and hurt hands refers to injuries and damage that man causes to himself. The explanation of these lines. Further, the poet says that the fisherman will also stop and not harm whales in the sea. This means that the poet is urging everyone not to harm the animals. The poet cites the examples of whales which are being hunted for the purpose of food or trade. The poet also wants people to calm down so that they can stop and see what they have achieved or lost. For this, he gives the example of the man who gathers salt and whose hands are hurt. All the people who work endlessly will get some time to look at their injuries and damage they have caused to their body. Here, the poet wants everyone to stop for a while in order to see and feel their achievements and how much they have lost for the sake of attaining such materialistic things. Metaphorically speaking, in the mad rush of human beings to attain materialistic gains, they have caused damage to their health. The literary devices used in these lines is alliteration. Example, his hurt hands. Here, the sound her gets repeated. Moving on to lines 15 to 20. Those who prepare green wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. Here, the poet asks everyone to stop all kinds of wars. The green wars against the environment, wars with poisonous gases, and wars with firearms. In such wars, victory is meaningless as there are no survivors left after the war. In fact, there is no benefit of achieving such victory in which no one is left alive. Today, all the human beings are making money by damaging the environment with their activities such as mining, deforestation, letting the chemical waste into rivers, etc. The poet asks us not to do so. He says so because wars and environmental damage will lead to no life on earth. Rather, he wants us to adopt a new approach towards life and mankind. Instead of fighting and waging wars, people should come out in their clean dresses and go out for a walk under the shady trees and enjoy doing nothing. He wants us to put on clean clothes, that is, to adopt a new approach towards life. In these lines, the poet becomes optimistic or hopeful. He imagines a situation when even those who are waging wars will give up the feelings of animosity towards their fellow beings. Instead, they will foster the spirit of brotherhood and live in peace and harmony. The literary devices in these lines are alliteration, example, was with, where were sound is repeated, and in clean clothes, k sound is repeated. Next one is repetition. Use of the word war, repeated 3 times. Dear students, hope today's portion is clear to you. Let me conclude with a quote by Carl Jung. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. Thank you. Have a nice day.